You good?
We're good.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're gonna call the regular meeting of Palomino Valley General Improvement District to order at 6:03, Thursday, October 17, 2024.
We have a forum.
Marty Brightmeyer.
Nevada Story.
John Patterson, we have a quorum. Public comment on matters not listed on the agenda.
Hang on. Are we recording?
This one's
Yeah,
not going. This one's going.
She gave me the,
This one's going.
Okay. Sorry, I just
No.
seen her trying to get it to work, so I didn't know if we were having technical difficulties.
I tried to do two, just in
Gotcha.
case.
Gotcha.
so public comment.
I have a couple of things.
Oh, go for it.
My first public comment is from Jeff Swift. He wanted this read to the board. Concerning the rumors, no, I have not moved out of the area and I'm not planning on moving. I signed up with the Registrar of Voters to run for the board on the GID and had good intentions on campaigning and winning a position. But after further review, I have been told that to be on the board of the GID, my primary residence needs to be in Washoe County. I am a resident and I do own our home on Axe Handle Canyon, but it is not my primary residence. Our plan is to make Axe Handle Canyon our primary residence once our house in Loomis, California sells. Concerning my name on the ballot, once I discovered this issue, I went to the Secretary of State's office and suspended my campaign and asked to have my name removed from the ballot. I was told that my name couldn't be removed because the primary had already occurred. So my name is on the ballot. If I did win in the election, I would not accept the position on the board, and the board would then appoint a replacement to fill that position. Now, I'm not an attorney, so that is how the SOS, Secretary of State office, explained the process to me. I am really disappointed that I am not able to hold a position on the board at this time, but I will be attending as many meetings in the future as possible. Sincerely, Jeff Swift. And he did intend to be here himself, but it is his wife's birthday, and she said,
Oh, smart man.
next public comment is from Trustee Roberts. She was not able to be here today, and so she sent this to be read. I am unable to attend this meeting in person as I will be traveling to attend a family reunion in Green Bay, Wisconsin. But I wanted to provide election information to the board, employees, staff, and the public. There had been some confusion about how many seats were up for election, including the seat vacated by the successful recall of Tom Baker. So I reached out to the Registrar of Voters through Washoe 311 and learned the following. There are 4 seats to vote for on your ballot. The seat currently occupied by John Patterson, current trustee and board president, is up for re-election. The seat vacated by Don Otto pursuant to his resignation is currently occupied by Nevada Story by appointment and is up for election. The seat vacated by Dan Helton pursuant to his resignation is currently occupied by Marty Brightmeyer by appointment and is up for election. I was appointed to occupy the seat vacated by Tom Baker as a result of the recall election in May. His term has 2 years remaining, and that seat is also up for election. The 6 candidates who filed in March and will be on the ballot are John Patterson, Nevada Story, Marshall Todd, Brian DeMambro, Julie Osborne, and Jeff Swift. Registered voters who reside within the boundaries of the PVGID will be able to vote for up to 4 candidates. We do not have to vote for 4. We can vote for less if we choose. The top 4 vote getters will win election. If one or more of the top vote getters moves out of the district and is no longer eligible to serve, that person must resign, and the remaining PVGID trustees will appoint a person to occupy that seat until the next election. I hope this information is helpful. Respectfully submitted by Pam Roberts. And as we know, Jeff Swift, if he said he would resign right away.
Any other public comment? Okay, approval of minutes for September 19th, 2024, regular meeting.
Don't think there's anything. Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes. I don't think there's anything missed.
I second it.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Review of bills and other, well, is there any public comment on that? No? Okay. Review of bills and other financial matters. Review of transactions report.
All right. So for the time being between September and October, there were not very many expenses. We had the typical payroll. There were two as typical. And there were only two contractors invoices this time instead of the three. And there was one adjustment that I made to the PERS payment. The calendar that I had made showed that there were only two payrolls in August, but there were actually three. So I had to there was a second payment or one missed payment for August and then the September payment. So it was a little bit more. But other than that, there was one Flyers invoice that came in after the meeting that I paid to get the diesel for the machines for the 1339. So those are the transactions.
Review of bills for approval of payment.
So this week, Sean's been busy. So I got some invoices here within the last 2 days that I went ahead and added to the report. So there is something new from what was sent out. I did add the Sierra Rental Transport invoices. Those tallied up to $12,572. And then there was the Western Nevada Materials invoice with our discount because we will be paying it early. Will be $7,656, and then everything else was our typical invoices for the month.
Any public comment? I got a motion to pay the bills.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Now, the estimated operating funds report.
Okay. So again, from the transaction report, those two do tie together a little bit. So we didn't spend the estimated amount, so we still have a balance at the end for August, an expected balance of about $580,000 once all of the bills are paid if we stay under budget. So there's that, and then like I said, Sean did have the two projects going to lay down the material this last week and maintenance projects for next month.
Okay.
Any public comment? All right, moving on, judicial government affairs, there's nothing. Road reports, road operations and maintenance reports.
Okay, so up until this week on the 14th, I was by myself, so I could basically only get so much done. So I went out and did a bunch of stuff with cleaning up ditches and so forth like that, and some escapes. As far as I did get a new guy, started on Monday. Previous worked for Story County, is familiar with the Vector, with the crack sealer, with, he's not.
Has done things.
He has done things in this realm. So it's very helpful. As a matter of fact, Tuesday, we were just about towards the end of the day, and the water pump for the water truck, the older one, but it's still the pump, we left the old pump on there, blew, just cracked in half. So I'm like, well, if you can, we got a new one, but I got to sign out trucks. He goes, no, can you sign out the trucks? And by the time I got back to the yard, he had it on.
Nice.
So mechanical too.
Did you drain your other water truck tonight?
They're all drained. Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
Oh yeah. So even the wells all opened up too and
Good.
ready to go.
It's gonna freeze tonight.
Right. So obviously we got the new trailer. Then I got a call from SNC and they were checking in. They were doing just a little bit of work and they were like, hey, is there any chance we could get some water? They never did end up getting water because they're doing the cattle guards, one right out here and the one over by the res.
Is that what they're doing?
Uh-huh.
Got it.
And so I went over there to talk to the water truck driver on Monday, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, unfortunately, I missed two because there's 4 sections. But I'm like, what are you guys doing with these? They're just tossing them and throwing them away. So I ended up getting 3 sections. Actually got the grates for the 4th, but I missed. But now we've got concrete, a complete set of cattle guards,
Nice.
which when I priced them out 5 years ago,
Oh,
$20,000.
yeah.
Now they're probably about 30 with the concrete. So we got those. The step pop box, which was bought probably 11 years ago, we never used. I ended up selling. So yeah, it's gone. We're getting rid of more junk and getting more new stuff. But anyway,
Perfect.
any other questions?
I got one.
Yep.
Oh, public comment?
George Boyce for the record. I noticed on your operating roadwork deal, it seems like everything's always done on the east side of the valley. I think,
You're not looking at them all
we're-
then, George.
We're taxpayers. We're taxpayers over here on the west side too.
George is speaking for all of us on the west side of the road.
Because I never go over to that side. I never grade any of those roads. So.
Well, no, you
Not the
might
point.
grade the roads. I'm
Most of
not
all,
saying
I will tell you this. How many roads are on this side, George? Actually, I'm not supposed to talk to you. Dang it.
Yeah.
No.
Count.
The thing of it is when you figure out a budget to make road improvements, a small portion of that budget, I don't say a big portion, a small portion, because we're the smaller side, needs to go to the west side. We shouldn't take and say, okay, we're gonna take all the money we got and dump it over there on the east side of the valley and let those taxpayers over there finance it. I think the west side of the valley should get a little bit of the budget for road improvement. I don't say what kind of improvement, that's up to the board. But I think some of this money should be designated for the west side of the valley for road improvement.
Is there base on your road?
When did you put that base on the road?
Is there base on any other roads over there?
You know, so, I mean, that's
I
been
don't know.
years ago.
Hey, this isn't a point of
Any
argument.
other public comment?
It's just a matter of fact that we put a tremendous amount, the
Larry
Chesney
Chesney.
for the record. We put a tremendous amount of money on the east side of the valley. Rangeland hasn't been finished. The west end of Rangeland hasn't been finished. And it turns in, Sean and I have both been sideways in it in the wintertime, laughing our asses off. But, you know, we need to get something in there to stabilize that soil and finish rangeland up. And because, hey, we're getting a whole new population on the west side of the valley.
Yeah.
And that the base, the buildup of rangeland, the east end of it from Gray Round to 445, well, actually from our Rebel Cause, has held up very well. But it's thinning out, it needs a topping on it. And I'm not telling you how to do your job. I'm just saying it's quite visible for us on that side of the valley that these huge amounts of money, like $246,000 to clean up the paved roads on the east side that were supposed to last 5 years, that thing continues to be a dollar drain, and we'd like to see a little something on the west side. That's all we're saying. We're not accusing anybody of anything, and I ain't gonna argue about it because it's not a point of argument.
Any other public comment?
Well, I have one other, Chesney still for the record. What, I think it's very unfair to Sean when he is shorthanded to not put up on the website that he is shorthanded, so that the snide remarks that come out on some of the social media about nothing's getting done anymore and nobody's maintaining the roads are BS. You're a one-man crew that only do so much. So I think that to inform the public that we're shorthanded for whatever the period of time is, does the entire board a service and will quell some of the proposed or theoretical anger running around the valley and the comments that we make. Because it's not fair to Sean, not fair to the board.
But I don't think anybody goes to the website. They're just on Nextdoor spouting their stuff off, and that's what I hear. That's all they ever do. And I'm not on it. So I
Now,
don't-
I can post on that if you would like me to.
But now we got the other guy back.
Yeah.
We're good.
Now we have a guy,
Yeah.
so.
Well,
Now we
I
just
could
have to
put
get
something on there, say, welcome, if I can get his name.
No.
No, just leave it
No,
alone?
because he's not permanent yet.
Okay.
He will be. Hopefully he will.
Yeah, I've given him
We'll
30
hold
days.
on.
So just leave it alone.
Any other public comment? Okay, so, just so you guys know, because we're on the road report item, I've said over a few months that, in listening to the public comment, that we need to get my opinion, get the projects off the books we have, which I think Sean, by next month, we might have these two big projects, Broken Spur and the Wilcox project off the books and paid for. And what I'd like to see over the next few months going into next year is, if Sean's willing and able to do it, is I'd like to see a cost on Pioneer Creek that we talked about last month, a cost on Quaking Master, a cost on some kind of, I know we can't redo the whole thing, but maybe some of the real bad sections on Grass Valley West. And maybe a cost for, is it the west end of Rangeland?
Yeah, it's west.
Okay, and maybe a
It's a
cost.
mile.
And,
Okay,
and the
maybe,
encroachment from 445. And, but I brought that up, 2 meetings ago.
so,
Yeah, but that's for next summer.
yeah, that's a
Yeah.
pavement job, right? Okay, but the dirt work, maybe put something that together that in 2 or 3 months, the board can look at some of these dirt work projects and maybe pick 1 or 2 off, depending on how much they cost, right? Does that sound like a plan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're not gonna do it right now, in the dead of winter, but I think over a few months, we could look at some costs and maybe get some more projects going on the books.
What have you done on the approach on Rangeland?
It's just, well, their apron and then a gravel garbage.
I got 3 asphalt pavers, come and grab one. I'm not gonna charge you for it.
Yeah,
No.
so it's,
We don't do asphalt block.
Yeah,
yeah, we don't.
yeah, that needs to go into the next paving
Yeah.
project.
And so does Grass Valley West,
Yeah,
Yeah,
so that would be like part of,
the paint patching.
when I
Yeah.
talk to him next to come up with a plan, to throw that in
Yeah.
next. So, you guys got anything else on this item? You guys good, or
I got a question.
Oh.
Who's supposed to come up with the numbers
for what?
for all the projects you just named?
For the dirt work?
Uh-huh.
My operations. But I'm
Would
not saying
you
next
like
month,
help with that,
Sean, you
Sean?
don't have anything else to do,
saying-
just run.
Just
Do
over a few
estimates.
months, just over a few months. And maybe hit some.
I knew you were gonna say
I
that,
knew
so,
you knew that.
but you guys, I'm just sitting there going, oh yeah, you guys gonna be in on that?
Well, would you like help with it?
Or you can do it, sure. I mean, I got all the, no.
I mean, we can
Okay,
figure
so-
out what they need, and I don't see why rangeland can't get hit. I don't see why.
Grass Valley.
Well, like
Yeah,
we
so-
saying, there's.
And
gonna be some-
I know what the problem with rangeland is. It's sand. So it's
Well,
Well,
no,
actually,
there's,
the west
it's
end-
more than
West
sand.
end, it's,
yeah.
It goes
It
from
it
sand
turns
to clay, and the
it
clay
turns it turns into
gets ugly.
alkali down there at the one end. So
It's just, there's probably 500 foot.
Yeah.
Like right now, well, not right now,
We have,
Just
well,
rain,
we
but-
have a ball in it
but we
every
get it
winter.
to where it's just solid crust when it finally dries out. The rest of it will washboard because it's sand. But that one, everybody was going up on that guy's bank to go around it.
right.
So, but it's whatever. I mean, it is what it is. We get it covered and we'll be done.
So we just need to cover it.
And where I was going with that is next year, since we did so much of the chip seal this year, we'll be able to have a little bit more for me
No,
next.
I mean, looking at Angie's numbers, if they're pretty close to that, I think.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Looking at what's proposed, there's no reason we can't get
some more
West
stuff
side.
done.
projects all done next spring.
Well, not
That's
all,
great, yeah.
but
I think a big chunk of them.
Well, Sean's got a lot of roads on the west side, not just rangeland. I mean,
Oh,
he's
no,
got-
no, there is.
You know, he's got all those on the west side of, Winnemucca Ranch Road that are ours too.
Yeah.
And-
Well, I've
and he
already
does a
done
good
the
job.
E on
I'm
Prairie.
not saying you're not doing a great job.
No, I didn't say that. I've got E on Prairie too. So,
Oh, yeah.
Hey, we just worked recently on Grass Valley,
which one?
Grass Valley West.
I did 1.5 miles, but it's probably already 10 apart. I put tons of water on that, graded it,
Got lots of water now.
and then it was, yeah, I know it,
Now go ahead and roll it.
right? Right? Exactly. And that could work, actually.
It does, I did it today. Yeah, it'll work.
No, any of those sandy spots, I mean, shit,
Anyway,
there's a lot of them.
All right, moving on. Unfinished business, there is none, there's no new business, correspondence, Robert?
We received some correspondence regarding a proposal for a special permit for Virginia Peak. They want to put a new tower up there, and we are responding by email. We have to have it in by the 24th with a response that we
Yeah,
would normally do.
I want to write up a whole bunch of.
Can you
We
get-
don't want them doing a big construction project and dragging all their shit across our roads and then
Yeah.
So did
we're
you-
left
did you get-
fixing.
I sent it to him.
Okay,
Yeah, I just saw it yesterday.
Okay,
So-
Good,
so-
Marty.
if you,
Yeah, I
Right
just-
on.
Marty, if you look through that and you have some ideas other than what you got,
well,
will you send them to Robin? 'Cause
Yeah.
she's gonna draft an email
Yeah.
to the county,
If you can get it to me this weekend so that I can get it
Okay.
done up by Monday and get it
and
reviewed.
we'll
and-
incorporate whatever ideas you have too.
Yes.
well, they need to pay for road use. I mean,
Oh,
they
yeah,
need
bring
to pay for
cranes up
gravel
there
all
and-
the way up from,
well, that's my whole thing.
Well,
Is I think they need to prior to work they need to go fix Quaking Aspen because they're gonna just beat
Oh,
the
they're-
crap
yeah.
out of it.
Yeah.
Because they're hauling enough equipment in there to put up over 100-foot tower on
Mhm.
top of the mountain.
Mhm.
So there's going to be concrete. There's going to be
And they tear that road up too.
tower cranes. There's going to be tower pieces. There's going to be semis. You know they're going to hook loaders to semis and drag them up the
Right.
face of that hill because semi's not just going to drive up there.
And I say, whatever your ideas are, throw everything at the wall
Yeah.
and
Because
send it to them.
yeah,
We
'cause
actually
this
can't.
is
the worst they can
this is
say is no.
Yeah.
well actually the way I read it, it becomes conditional of the permit. So they want their special permit
Right,
for
right,
this.
yeah. This
Yeah.
is,
So,
the
I mean,
county is putting
This is the
yes,
first time
stipulation.
we've actually gotten to be
Right.
included.
Yeah.
You know, these other ones
But
they've
we-
done before, we've been left out of, and then all of a sudden, oh man, shucks, we destroyed the
We're
road.
actually not allowed to discuss it though.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we can't
So-
actually discuss. So if you
I
can send me
know,
all of
but
it. And
Send
it's a time-sensitive issue, and we're not meeting again before. So I would say this is a special circumstance, and we are in an open meeting. I understand it's not on the agenda, but it is a time-sensitive circumstance that has to be met before we even come back.
Well, you want, you didn't have to just send your stuff to her and you're good.
Yeah.
So,
and I'll send it back. We can work on it.
Yep.
And I'll
so I
send it
just
back.
want it to be known that yeah, we're gonna throw everything at it because I don't want them getting away with destroying
And
roads.
you got the timeline of
I do.
drop dead timeline,
Mhm.
so you'll be a burr under his saddle.
Yeah.
If you don't
I
hear
have
from
to
him.
have it in the 24th. So
Mhm.
Okay,
I'd like to have all of your ideas by Monday so I can write it up and get
Yeah.
it back to you to review.
perfect, thank you, Marty.
Yes, thank you.
Anything else?
That's it on correspondence.
Okay, calendar?
On the calendar, we will be agendizing the budget, not the budget, the audit for the next meeting. We're doing the quarterly economic survey. That's due up by the 14th of November, but we have to have it signed by the 31st. So we'll get it done and then have Greg sign it
Okay,
when he gets back. Let's see. I'll be handing out the calendar next month. The EMRB's due. I've done that. This will be my second time doing that. That's simple. And that's what we've got on the calendar for next month.
all right. Board member and staff items.
I have one thing. I'm sure most of you saw on the Nextdoor and on Facebook that I have resigned. I am going to put in a letter of engagement for next month, open-ended, because we haven't had any response and I do not want to leave the board in a bad situation. I'll stay as long as is needed and train as much as is needed and go from there. And so I will put in a letter of engagement for next month and we will see if we can find someone who would like to come in and just really work with you guys because it's been such a pleasure and I've really enjoyed it. And my situation may change, so we'll see.
And did you hear until she'll be here till we find someone? So if we don't find someone, it's a non-issue. That's what I just heard, okay? But,
I'm sure there's some conditions with that.
so you
I'm
guys
gonna have to
might
write this
understand
in.
something with her letter of engagement. It
Don't
was,
expect me
it
5
was a
years
year
from now.
long, which Robin chose to do that when she came last year.
Mhm.
So to keep Robin in our midst, we have to redo that letter of engagement, take that date off so we can keep Robin around.
Okay.
Which we would have done without,
Yeah.
her resignation to next month. Right. So that's the point of why we need to do that, so we don't get in the weeds on that.
And Angie will need to do hers as well.
Was there a date on yours?
December 6th, 1 year.
I
You
didn't think
capped
there
yours
was a
at a
date.
year? It
I
wasn't
don't think
open-ended?
we capped mine, but
We didn't cap
I
yours?
don't think so.
Oh,
But you have it?
I do.
So
I'll
if
check,
it
I'll
is,
look it over.
then it'll get put on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
If we didn't cap yours, that's all the
Yeah, I
better.
don't think so. I don't know.
And then one, I'll just say it here, I think I sent an email to you, but for next month also, not trying to overload us guys, but, there was some question about the invoices, being put out, like in the, sent out, you know, past practice was, I think that the staff would have them, and if somebody wanted to see them, they'd have them with them. And recently this year, off and on, depending on when they have them, if they have them on time for the meeting, they've been sending those invoices out with the financial information. So there's some question, should we keep doing that, should we not keep doing that? So I just said, fine, we'll put it on the agenda next month, and then we'll all decide, hey, do we want to do that? You know, and we'll decide that next month. So if you don't mind, Robin,
I'm writing it down.
and I don't have anything else unless you guys do.
No. Marty?
No, I was just trying to go through the list here.
We can't talk about it anyway, so.
No, well, I mean, I can
You can
Make
put
it
it
a-
on the agenda.
I can make an opinion, but put it on the agenda doesn't mean it
All right,
counts for anything.
Whoa,
good, good. Public comment on matters not listed on this agenda?
George Boyd for the record. I forgot one little detail on the road report. It was asked in the last meeting that they fix the potholes off of Kermit Highway as you turn onto Rangeland. Is there a possibility we get that done?
eventually.
Okay, thank you.
Any other public, oh, Brian?
Yeah, Brian DeMambro, for the record, I would like to have an item agendized for the next meeting if possible. It has to do the reduction of the medical benefits for the employees. I know that that was cut, if I remember right, by 3,000. And it's awfully difficult to get people to come out here and work. And one of the things that has helped to get, from what I understand in the past, to get people to come all the way out here was that maybe the pay was not as great in some places, but the medical benefits and all that were really good. And the thing is that Sean has saved this district so much money. I'm not, and I mean, just an example about, about getting and picking up the cattle guards. Which if we can repurpose those here, he's just saved us a bunch of money again. And I think that 3,000 should really be put back into his benefits. And I would really appreciate to see that discussed in the board again. Because I really don't believe that served him well by cutting his medical.
Any other public comment?
Yeah, Larry Chesney for the record. To expand on Brian's comment, I noticed that there's a new posting for in Washoe County, a general road worker, and they've added a sentence on the new job posting that says that possible travel cost reimbursement is negotiable at the time of employment. So if that would help and Sean's ability to recruit good people, you may want to discuss looking into what Washoe County, or I would volunteer to do that for you. Actually, what they mean by that, but I know what it means. They're having trouble getting people too.
Yep.
And so if they've got to come in from another county or something, maybe they're providing a mileage allowance or something like that. And we may not have to use it, but it might not be a bad idea to consider that and allowing Sean to recruit the best that he can and open up the pool for him. So that's all I got to say.
Any other public comment? And I'll just tell you guys that, I'm not gonna respond to the public comment, but what I heard from Mr. DeMambro was gonna be on the agenda in December.
Oh,
So,
okay, cool, dude.
for your guys' information. All right, we're gonna go adjournment unless you guys have a problem with that.
No,
You still have 30 minutes.
I'll take a motion.
I motion.
Say,
Motion and a second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried, meeting adjourned at 6:37.
Unbelievable.
We have a meeting, should go on.
6:33.